So if you're thinking about making a move and you want to start getting your house ready, one of the very first and most important steps you can do in any staging regimen is to start with decluttering. Decluttering is the idea of getting rid of unnecessary items, furniture, or distractions that keep people from seeing the size, the space, or the layout of a home. So some of the common examples you might have when focusing on decluttering usually center on the idea of removing unnecessary or oversized furniture, or just looking at items that really don't add to the presentation of a room. Now, one of the other ways you can consider the idea of decluttering is asking yourself, if you were a stager and you were brought into a room or a house and you were going to pay to put an item in a room to showcase how it could best be used, would you pay to put the item in there? If the answer is no, then it should go. And that could be everything from, again, furniture you might be seeing, to pictures, to items, to really anything that's just not adding to how a buyer might see themselves enjoying that space. One of the ways to think about this, because it is a lot of work, is the idea of pre-packing. These items are going to be necessary. They're things that you're going to bring along with you. So might as well get them packed up, because we're going to succeed. We're going to get the house sold, and you're going to have to get them ready for the move anyway. Now, the idea of decluttering an entire house can seem like a lot to do. So here are a couple of rooms you want to start by paying close attention to, because they're going to be the most impactful. Number one is the entryway. It's the first thing people are going to experience when they come in the house, so you want to make sure it has clean sight lines, you want to make sure it doesn't have any unnecessary distractions, and you want to make sure it's pulling you into the rest of the house. You want to pay special attention to rooms like the living room. Why? Because they're going to be spending a bunch of time there. Or maybe it's the family room or the great room. A kitchen is another one that is a really important place to focus. And honestly, it is a space that is most likely to have items that are really unnecessary for staging, because of all rooms you have in the house, it's most likely to have items out for convenience. Other areas you really want to focus on are areas like bathrooms, because that counter space can be so important. And again, they can look so cluttered so quickly with just a few items. It really can ruin the entire aesthetic of the room. Now, here are a couple examples of spaces that are oftentimes overlooked when it comes to decluttering and staging, but they're unbelievably important. So you want to make sure you're putting your best efforts into them. First and foremost is closets. Closets in the laundry room are really important to people. They're all going to look at them. They're all going to try and gauge how much space, how well they're laid out, and if it's going to work for them. So you want to make sure you're focusing energies on getting things out of there. That could be just getting rid of unseasonal clothing and making sure that you're only putting items in there that you absolutely need to. Again, remember that idea of pre-packing. Another really important area you want to pay attention to that is very commonly overlooked is the idea of kitchen cabinets and drawers. People are always going to look to see how well things are organized and how much space something has. So you want to make sure you're not overlooking areas like that. Another commonly overlooked place is the idea of windowsills, where people might put items or plants that are just taking away from the flow of light into a room. And the last one that is really important, and everyone looks there, is the garage. I know it's easy to look at the garage as a place that you put all of those things, and maybe that is one of those things you fall back on. But if you have a chance to clean out that garage and showcase its space, it can be unbelievably beneficial in the idea of decluttering. So if you have the means of doing so, it might be a great idea to rent that storage locker, that storage garage, maybe arrange a pod, just so you can get those items permanently moved out of the house to showcase all these spaces in the best possible light. If you have any other questions when it comes to the idea of staging or decluttering your home, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, have a great day.